Today's episode is brought to you by Cidergeist, made by Rhinegeist. Bubbles Rosé Ale. It's one of my favorites. It is also going into my all-time favorite koozie that says, "Today I will marry my best friend." And that is for Chrissy and Kurt Alber's wedding on June 14th, 2008. And the reason that it's my favorite koozie ever, because I have no fucking idea who those people are. I'm pretty sure that this koozie was acquired at a drunken bonfire in rural Ohio somewhere, but who knows? Hey guys, I'm Chevy Rell, for all of you who do not know me or are first-time viewers. I did see that I've gotten a lot of new subscribers. I've gotten some shout-outs from some podcasts that I've watched for years, and I have to tell you that hearing them say my name gives me goosebumps and makes my heart like really happy. So thank you. If any of you are watching, I really appreciate it. If you're new here, I have an introduction video. There's a little I somewhere up in there if I didn't forget it, if you want to know more about me. But if not, we're just going to talk about the stuff. So let's get started. What I'm wearing, which I don't really know if you can see it. Here, I'm going to do this. La, la, la. This is super old. It is called Green Before Gold by Jane Thornley. It's a free pattern. I did it years ago. For those of you who've watched past episodes, if you're new, I don't do project pages. There have been a few times in my life when I've gotten in my head that I think I want to try to do them. Fortunately, this made the list on one of those times, or I would have had no idea what it was. This is all scraps. I have no idea what it is. All acrylic, I'm sure. There's actually some suede yarn in there. I don't remember. Do you remember those little baby Ugg boots that were a fad many moons ago? I made a bunch of them. This lived in a bag under my desk at work, and I think that it literally took me 3 years to make. I just knit on it little by little, and here it is. Finished objects. Next. Finished objects. I have my Marauders hat on. I don't know if you can see it. It's finished and blocked and I love it. I ordered 2 pom-poms from different places. Thank you so much for all the suggestions. Hopefully you'll see this hat again and it'll have a furry faux dead thing on it. This pattern is the Marauders hat.
I think I said that.
This pattern was designed by Diana Resack. Free pattern. I made it with Wool of the Andes tweed in Thirst Heather is this one. And then this one is Mineville Wool Project. That's right.
Okay, now I'm getting hot. I have to take this off. I was so cold earlier.
How many shades of green and blue can one person wear at a time? Next finished object. I made the Pom Pom Party Slippers by Wooliers. The yarn is called Scarfy, and I think it's Lion's brand.
No? Yes? No?
Yes, Lion's brand Scarfy. I personally like to wear socks with them. These are a paid-for pattern. I can't remember how much I paid for them. I'm sorry. Actually, I wonder if I got them for free. I think that they were doing, I either got them for free or a discount. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll link the project page or I'll link it. This is my first beer, you guys. I will link the pattern below so you can check it out for yourself. My next finished object is the Barkley sweater. Isn't it cute? Imagine a cute little white dog in it. I will post a picture of her wearing it so you guys can see because she's super cute and I can't wait to see her in it. This is scraps and I can't remember what this purple is. It's an eggplant color. There you go. I do remember that I got it at the Allegan Fiber Festival in Allegan, Michigan, which that's not what it's called, but anybody who goes to Allegan, I just always call it Allegan. I have to Google it to find out what the real Fiber Festival is. I'm in the Fort Wayne, Indiana area, and it is the largest fiber festival within kind of a normal sized drive. You know, yes, we can drive to Maryland Sheep and Wool and we can drive to Rhinebeck, but it's like, I don't know, I want to say it's like 10 to 13 hours or something. I could be way off, but I think it's something like that. Allegan is 3. There's a private campground up there. I have mentioned before that we're big campers, and we have camped up there enough now that we kind of know the people, and it's fun. It's a little private campground. You can get spots right on the water, which is super cool. We haven't actually made it in a couple of years, but it's on the calendar for this year. Dang nabbit. So hopefully we'll be there. Anyway, so this purple eggplant yarn, I can't remember what it is. Goodness. So this pink yarn, I said it was scraps for this super cute squid that I knit as a commission piece. For acrylic, this is so squishy and soft. It's awesome, and I wish I remembered what it was, but it's perfect for baby knits or anything to wash, which means nothing to you since I can't tell you what it is unless you know what it looks like. My friend Tori had a baby. Her baby's name's Wren. How flipping cute is that? I knit her a little monster. So that this yarn has gotten some love. It has made a few projects, and I still have some left. I don't know, it's like the never-ending ball or something. Whips. My crochet blanket. For all of you who are new viewers, if you haven't watched any of the past episodes, I have this book called 200 Crochet Squares. You can check it out in a previous episode. I'm actually sort of scared because I don't know what I did with it. My crochet square kind of fell to the wayside because this square, it's not fun. It's not, I haven't wanted to do it. It's too, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of like a checkered pattern, and there's 2 different colors, and I don't want to do it because I really pounded through a few of them before, and this one has just not into it. Okay, the Brainless socks. These got some love. I'm kind of impressed with the love these got. So it doesn't look like much because that's where I was the last time, but they both have heels and gussets. And pause, these might look better on a sock blocker. Okay. Maybe I lied, maybe not. Here we go. Check it out. I haven't used a sock blocker in so long. Okay, I will tell you. So it has this cable pattern, and then this is the gusset. And I told you that I thought this heel pattern was going to be super interesting. A couple things. It was totally interesting. I've not ever knit one like it before. I will tell you that I did not read any of the project notes in typical Chevis fashion. On these project notes, everybody said how not clear the pattern was, and it wasn't. It's a free pattern. I think that maybe if it was a paid for pattern, tech edited, test knit by more people. Everything is totally cool up until you get for the heel. This whole gusset part, we're good, right? We're good all the way up to here. When it gets to the heel part, in my opinion, the only reason that I liked it is because A, I've been knitting for a long time. B, I like puzzles. It took me a minute, but I figured it out. And once I figured it out, it was fine. She, in the pattern, says that you're supposed to like rearrange your stitches on the needles this way, and I did that, and it was, and I'm a 2 at a time girl. So what I ended up doing, because I was I had to use my brain. What I did for these is I put one of them on stitch holders and just worked on one. So I worked the heel and then the rest of the gusset one at a time. And then there was a lot of rearranging and moving around, and which I don't mind. Some people that don't like fiddly things, that might have really gotten to you. I can see where the frustration comes from on the project page as far as people writing their stuff in the helpful hints. It probably would have benefited me a little bit to read that part before I started them. However, part of me is kind of glad that I didn't, because I might not have knit the sock. I am on the cuff next. I haven't started the cuff. So these were in a good stopping point. I love knitting new to me heels because I like the process of it. But as far as the fit goes, afterthought heels just don't fit my foot well. I'm a fish lips kiss heel person as far as my standard vanilla pattern goes. I typically don't substitute a heel in a pattern for another heel unless it's afterthought. I am very aware that when knitting new heels, there's a possibility that it won't fit my foot right. Those fit like a glove. I'm so excited. They fit great. So I'm really excited to get those off the needles. Those were my Little Bobbins Christmas Eve cast on. They are also in Squirrel Pie Productions for any of you who watch her. If you don't watch her, she has a podcast. She's on the other side of the world for me, which is the West Coast. And she's awesome. And she is currently hosting a patterned sock cal. Her hashtag it's hashtag patterned sock cal. I'll link all of her stuff below if you guys are knitting some patterned socks and want to enter in that. I suggest go to check her out. She's awesome too. She knits super cool things. Her name's Tommy. I'm sure most of you know her. In fact, she gave me a shout out. Some of you may have found your way here from there. I've watched Tommy since episode 1. Go check out that cal. I started those socks for that cal. Now that I am a podcaster, I feel like I'm not going to participate. No, that's wrong. I'm not going to enter in to other podcasters' cals. I don't know why that seems weird to me. Maybe it's because nobody else does it. However, nobody else says fuck either, and I do. Which my mom totally yelled at me for. So I might not say that word anymore. I cuss and nobody else does that. And everybody's mentioned that too. And I don't feel like I cuss like a sailor or anything, but I do cuss. And I wonder why other people choose not to. Is it just to be polite? Does that make me not polite? Not that I'm not going to participate in the cals. Most podcasters don't then enter for prizes. And I don't know what that line is as far as like not entering for prizes, but I feel like I shouldn't just because nobody else does. So I kind of have in my head that I'm going to participate in them, but I'm not going to enter for prizes. My oracle, that's about as much as you're gonna see. See, I got some rows done on the brioche. It's no longer on Q Island. That was from my mom. It's no longer there. We're good. If it goes back there, it will be when the lace happens. We shall see. Remember the mistake rib?
Mistake. Ugh.
The mistake rib scarf. The mistake rib scarf by Pearl Soho. Remember that? That I said I wanted to gouge my eyes out and that you might not ever see again? Yeah, you're not. I frogged that shit, yo. Bye, Felicia. Instead, I am going to make my cousin the Seeta Fingerless gloves. And they are by Maria Scheherazade. Totally botched that, I'm sure. She dedicated it to her cousin Seeta, which isn't that a cool name? S-E-E-T-A, Seeta. So, you guys, these are fun. And it was a free pattern as well. Aren't they cool? That's all I have. And this is pashmina, which you know has cashmere in it. I just want to touch it. New cast on. It is in my Bitter Knitters bag. There's a group of us on Sundays that knit at a local coffee shop. I want to say we call ourselves the Bitter Knitters, but they were the Bitter Knitters long before I started knitting with them. So I knit with the Bitter Knitters. However, I guess I kind of am a bitter knitter. I don't know. So I made that. And in this bag is my Dirty Martini sweater by Ella Torrenti.
Torrente?
You know me, guys. I don't know. But here it is so far. Oh, actually it goes like this. So that's the back. I do this all the time. Would you like to see what it's supposed to look like? That is probably as good as it's gonna get. Look it up online and you'll totally see what I mean. But I have 2 Miss Babs Yowza skeins. Deep stash. One of them I got up at Allegan, which was perfectly reckless. And that's what this is. And then the other skein.
What did I do with it? I swear it was here.
Found it. The other one is called Funny Papers. I am putting them together. I did swatch for this, which of course it's in another room. I'm going to do the button band and the sleeves in the Funny Papers, and then this is going to be the body. I did a swatch for it. It looks very faded, and that was not intentional. I knew that they went together, but how well, hang on just a second, I'll go get it. Me again. Have any of you ever seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure? Here's a swatch. I mean, isn't that awesome? I don't know, so I'm super excited to see how it turns out. The only other time I've ever knit with Miss Babs has a tragic ending. I had a fingering skein of deep sea jellyfish, and I made a sockhead hat, full shebang, full 9 inches, or whatever. 9 inches. The full, I think for the ultimate slouch is 9 inches, and most people don't make it that far because they're so over it by then. But I had like the slouchiest of slouchy sockhead hats, and me being a farm girl goes out mudding with the boys on the ATVs in my Carhartts, and for some reason I wore my Miss Babs sockhead hat. For us girls, we can't just like stand up and pee. We have to like go into like the brush of the woods and fully take like all of our Carhartts off and everything. You country girls know what I'm talking about. I shove my hat in the sleeve of my coat, and I put my coat under my arm. I like get my bibs off. You know, I'm trying to not pee on myself. I get back, I get all put together, which is a process because there's layers, people, layers. I was such an idiot. I put my arm like through my coat. Yeah. Like I pushed my hat right out through the sleeve of my Carhartt and had no idea until we were long gone. Like we were home before I even remembered my hat. There was alcohol involved. It may have been the night that I got this koozie. No, it wasn't, but I'm serious. I was bummed. So every time we go back there, I still go over to that spot where I peed and was like, R.I.P. Miss Babs sockhead hat. You guys, I'm spinning. What? This is BFL Polworth Merino custom blended wool top roving for spinning and felting in the Cerberus
colorway.
But this is it. And that's pretty good. I was worried because as I started spinning it, it's a 2-ply. I got 138 yards, I think. And you guys, it was like, I have not washed it or thwacked it or all of the spinning nonsense that you do with fiber, but it's overspun. You guys, I never overspin. My stuff is always balanced, like straight up. And for all the years that I've been spinning, when you take it off the nitty knotty, like you're always like when you do it, but mine is always balanced. It's weird because I still had that like feeling, but in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, it'll be balanced. And then it wound on itself, and I was like, no, it's the first time ever in all my years of spinning. Even when I was a newbie, I don't know. I'll wash it and black it. I didn't spin with a purpose. I just wanted to spin the fiber. When I first started spinning, which that'll bring me to show and tell. When I first started spinning, the reason that I picked my wheel, which is an Ashford Joy, oh, she's right there, is because it had the jumbo bobbin option. And I knew that I wanted to spin art yarn. We'll do a little edumacation here. Not that I should be educating anyone on anything, but you know what I'm saying. So when you buy a standard, for all you people who don't spin, or maybe want to learn, this is what it is. When you get a standard flyer, this is the size of your orifice. And that fits through, you know, your standard yarn, or, you know, your typical, you can spin a bulky with this. But the problem, even if you can get it through the orifice, your bobbins are this big. Okay, this is a standard size bobbin. This is a jumbo bobbin. So you can fit a lot more fiber on this. The other thing is it comes with a jumbo flyer, and the orifice on a jumbo flyer, they're big so that you can fit art yarns through them. That being said, that's my show and tell this week. As I was saying earlier, I did not spin that with a purpose, meaning I don't have a pattern picked out. A lot of times I will spin with a particular pattern in mind. So I will spin for the project. Other times I just like to spin. A lot of my art yarn I've never knit with. Some of this stuff I'm going to show you is deep, deep stash. It was all about making the yarn. When I learned how to spin, a lady by the name of Betty Berry, who owns Little Shop of Spinning in Fort Wayne, taught me how to spin. She ended up turning into a very dear friend of mine. And one of the most important lessons she ever taught me is that you have to learn how, because I went in there, she is a very balanced spinner. Everything's very balanced. And I went in there, this young kid, because I've been spinning for years now, going, I'm gonna make art yarn, woo! And she was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. She's like, it's totally out of my element, but you need to learn how to do it right before you can do it wrong. The whole thing you want to learn or keep in mind when spinning is no matter what you're doing, whether it's a big chunky art yarn that you're putting a bunch of stuff in, or if you're spinning balanced, is that you're doing it with purpose. You need to learn the right way to do it before you do it the wrong way or the not normal way, which most of the people who know me know that everything I do is not normal. I don't particularly even like normal. I like the unique and eccentric. They're my favorite peeps. So here's some of my yarn. I had some dyed locks in there. There's some glittery. This was a funky bat with a bunch of different kinds of fiber in it. See, I haven't knit it. It would make a totally cool cowl. And I used to name my yarn. I called this Witch's Cauldron because it reminded me of like witchy, there's like blacks and purples and I don't know, Halloweeny, whatever. I called this Antique Sitting Chair. There's pearls in it and like old school buttons and some lace. Yeah. Called that Clown Barf. It has a bunch of the coils. I never know, there's coils and these are beehives or clouds or something because they're big and fat. And then these are coils, I do believe. So aren't they fun? I love them so much. I called this bacon and eggs because you can't really see it, but the ply is totally the color of bacon. It's like a reddish brown color. I actually have a tag on this one. It's Corriedale. I'm terrible at that. I don't know what any of that stuff is. I just am like, ooh, it's pretty, let's spin it. And then I have friends who are on the ball and can tell you exactly what the fiber content is and everything. I know nothing. Next up is DIY, Pinterest, or the other section. I have an odd other section this week. Let me show you. You guys, I made a thing, kinda. I didn't, well, I made some of it. Okay, here's the story on this. What I learned this weekend, for those of you who follow me on Instagram already know this, I am not a quilter. It is not my bag, baby. This quilt top, which you saw enough of it, I'm guessing. My Aunt Jean, who passed away many years ago, was crafty. Her kids found all this crafty stuff, knew that I was crafty. They are either not, I don't know the answer to this, they are either not crafty or didn't want to be crafty, but she had 2 quilt tops made. Last weekend, I went and bought backing fabric, and I got this really, like, because, you know, in typical fashion, somebody else would have done like a muted, heck no, I gotta be like, bam! This is flannel and super squishy and awesome, and I'm super excited about it. I made 2 sandwiches, like I cut all the batting and the backing and all that jazz for all you quilters out there. I'm ready to quilt, right? I get to the quilting part. My sewing machine is a hand-me-down from Dan's Grandma Dot from the 70s. It's a Kenmore something. It's like this old metal beast. And she's awesome and I love her and she does everything that I need her to mostly. I need a walking foot. To be honest, I don't really know what I need. But from the research that I did online, it looked as though I needed A, a walking foot, or B, a darning foot, neither of which I have. If I had a darning foot, I would need to lower my feed dogs. Not an option on my machine. So I stopped and just started knitting. All is not lost because my stepmom, Mama Jean, is a quilter extraordinaire. She is amazing. I mean, she has one of those machines that looks like it could launch a rocket into space. Ew, I gotta show you the quilt she made me. Isn't it cute? It's Campers. It's awesome. Mama Jean and I bartered and I knit her like 4 pairs of socks and she made me that quilt for our camper because, you know, Campers. She totally knows what she's doing and she's going to help me quilt them because she has all of the things needed to do it correctly. Plus, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to quilting. I know Stitch in the Ditch and that's the extent of it. I'll keep you posted when I finish those. My other for the week is I joined Fibershare. I've seen it the last couple years. To be totally honest with you, I had no idea what it was. I didn't take the time to look in to see what it was. I knew it was some sort of swap. It's an international fiber and yarn swap. It's a swap that you have to pay to get into, for one. It's $7. The reason that you pay $7 is for a few things. For one, it kind of lets them know that you're legit and you're serious and that you're actually going to do it. Because any of you who have done swaps or maybe have thought about doing swaps know that it's sort of a big gamble when you do it because you never know. You're really putting a lot of trust in people that you don't know. They look at it as if you're going to pay money, you're probably going to do it. The other thing that the money goes towards is their time. The co-founder, excuse me while I look at my notes, I'm terrible, is Ashley Thurman. I guess the turnout this go round has been huge. I know in other swaps, A, B, C, and D, A and B are partners and C and D are partners. But in Fibershare, you send your swap to one person and you get a swap from somebody else. So it's not like an exchange, it's a big, I mean, there's lots of maths involved. You know how I feel about math. So high five to Ashley for all the work she's doing as far as matching that stuff up. She also has a co-host named Beth Meyer. She does like the web and the blog and the graphic stuff, and her husband helps out. If you haven't checked Fibershare out yet, of course it's closed for this round, but if you follow them on Instagram, you'll start to see the next time they have something. But their website is really amazing. So high five to Beth and her hubby if they're the ones who did it. They're super informative, very easy to navigate. Lots of cool stuff on their website. So if you don't know what it is and want to know more, I suggest that you head over that way. So my viewer question for this week is, I signed up for Fibershare. Did you? I want to hear about it. Have you done it before? Did you love it? I'm like super excited to wait to get my match. Like I said, they're totally bogged down. It's a huge undertaking for them to make these matches. So it's going to be a while, but they're working very hard. I'm super excited to put a little package together. I hope you guys have an awesome world until the next time I see you. If you haven't already, we have a Ravelry group. We have thumbs up, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. I say it every time. You know where to find me. And until next time.